So I run a faceless YouTube channel called Wi-Fi Uni. I'm 23. I'm from the UK, and it makes me around $2,000 a month. And I want to be upfront before anything else that I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you it happened fast or that it was easy, because it wasn't either of those things. And I think the reason most videos about making money on YouTube feel a bit hollow is that they skip the bit where nothing was working and jump straight to the part where everything is fine. So, I'm going to try not to do that. Please excuse this AI slop voice. I promise the value in this video is worth it. This is just the honest story of how I built the channel, why I built it the way I did, and what I think actually made the difference. So the idea behind Wi-Fi Uni came from something I noticed rather than something I planned. And basically what happened was I kept seeing the same type of video everywhere. How to make money with AI, how to build a passive income stream with this tool, how to go viral with AI-generated content, all of that. And they were getting massive views, and I remember just sitting there thinking, okay, so who in this whole ecosystem is actually making consistent money? And the answer I kept coming back to was the people making the videos about it, not the people doing the things in the videos. And that led me to this idea about the gold rush, the actual California gold rush in the 1800s, where the miners mostly went broke, and the people who got rich were the ones selling equipment to the miners, the shovels and the pickaxes and the boots, because those things sold regardless of whether anyone found gold. And I thought, right, that's exactly what's happening here. Everyone's a miner scrambling around trying to find gold with the latest AI tool or side hustle. So what if I just sold the shovels? What if I became the channel that explains all of this clearly to people who are trying to figure it out? And the name Wi-Fi Uni came from that framing. The idea that this is the education you get from your Wi-Fi connection, the stuff school never taught you. How to actually build something real online. And I like that, and I still do. The faceless part was a deliberate decision, and I think it's worth explaining why, because people always ask about it. I didn't want the channel to depend on me being on camera, partly because I just didn't feel like doing it, but also because I could see that for the kind of content I was making, educational stuff, tutorials, explainers, the face isn't really the point. The information is the point. And a good AI voiceover over clean visuals does that job perfectly well without any of the friction of setting up a camera and doing takes and worrying about how you come across. And practically speaking, it just made everything faster. No camera setup, no lighting, no spending an hour getting a 2-minute clip that sounds natural. I could just script it, run it through the voiceover tool, edit it. Done. And that speed meant I could post every other day without it feeling like a grind. The faceless format also means the channel isn't built around me as a personality. It's more like a small media operation, and I think that's actually a healthier way to build something because it's not dependent on me showing up and performing every single time. The beginning was slow, and I want to just say that plainly because I think people need to hear it more than they do. For the first several months, the videos were getting 50, 60, maybe 80 views, and I was putting in real time, scripting everything, editing, uploading, and watching the numbers just not move. And there's a specific feeling that comes with that where you start questioning everything. Like maybe the niche is wrong, maybe the format is wrong, maybe I'm just not good enough at this. And it's genuinely hard to keep going when nothing seems to be reflecting the effort you're putting in. But the thing I kept reminding myself was that YouTube in those early months isn't really your audience yet. It's watching you. It's trying to figure out what your channel is and who it's for. And that process just takes time, and you can't shortcut it. And the only thing that actually moves it along is keep posting and keep getting better. So I did. Every other day. Don't obsess over the numbers. Do the next one. And I also figured out pretty early on that doing both long form and short form from the same content was a smart move, not because I had some big strategy around it, just because it felt efficient. Make the long video, trim it down for shorts, same research and same script doing double the work. And it meant the channel had more surface area for people to find it. The turning point came around 6 or 7 months in, and it was pretty undramatic honestly. One video just started doing better numbers than everything else, more impressions, better click-through rate, people actually watching the whole thing. And it was an AI tool explainer, something people were genuinely searching for, and everything just lined up at once. The title had the right words, the thumbnail was clean, the video delivered what it promised. And when YouTube picks up one video, it then goes and looks at the rest of your channel, almost like it's checking your references before deciding whether to push you more broadly. And because I'd been posting consistently for months, there was a whole back catalog there. And people would watch that one video, find another one, watch that, subscribe, and the watch time went up and the algorithm responded to that and pushed more. And this is the thing about consistency in the early phase that sounds obvious, but I think is actually really important to understand properly, which is that you're not just making videos, you're building a library, and the library is what converts one good moment into real sustained growth. If that video had landed and there was nothing else on the channel, it would have just been one good video, and that's it. The catalog behind it is what made it matter. The money side I want to be straightforward about, because I think the way people talk about YouTube income online is often either vague or exaggerated, and neither is helpful. I make around $2,000 a month from the channel, and most of that comes from sponsors, specifically companies making AI tools who want to get in front of an audience like mine. And the reason sponsorships work so well in this niche is that the integration feels natural, like I'm teaching someone a workflow, and one of the tools in that workflow happens to be a sponsor. It doesn't feel like an interruption. It feels like a recommendation, and that's genuinely better for everyone involved. A channel at my size gets paid somewhere between $100 and $200 per sponsored video. And what I've learned is that the size of your audience matters way less than how specific it is. My 25,000 subscribers who all care about AI and making money online are worth more to the right advertiser than a much larger audience of people watching random stuff, because the match between my audience and the product is so clean. I also make around $200 a month from affiliate links, tools like OpenArt that fit naturally with the content, and the link just sits in the description of every relevant video and earns passively. And then AdSense on top of that is about $100 a month, which is nice, but it's not the main event at this size. And I started getting sponsor emails around 10,000 subscribers, which genuinely surprised me. I thought I'd need to be much bigger before anyone cared, but that's not how it works. What matters is the right audience, not the biggest audience. 2 years, every other day, somewhere around 300 videos probably. A lot of weeks where it felt like it was going nowhere. And now I'm 23, making $2,000 a month from something I built from scratch. And I've just launched a school community on top of that, which is adding recurring revenue on top of everything else. And none of it came from some unique advantage or a lucky break. It came from spotting an idea that made sense and being consistent enough to follow through on it for long enough that it started to compound. The AI content space is not saturated. I know it might look that way from the outside, but there are more people than ever trying to figure this stuff out. And a lot of the content explaining it is not actually that good. And there's still a real gap for channels that take the time to be clear and honest and actually useful. If you're thinking about building something like this, I hope this gave you something real to work with. And one last thing, and I'm going to keep this short because I hate the way people oversell stuff at the end of videos. But I do have a school community called Wi-Fi Uni where I offer direct one-to-one feedback and coaching. And if any of what I've talked about in this video is something you want help actually doing yourself, then it might be worth checking out. There's a link in the description. It's not expensive. And if it's not for you, that's completely fine. No pressure at all. Just putting it out there. Cheers for watching.